But just because you're stable does not mean that's your destiny. Just because you spent a lot of your life working towards specific goals and you finally got there where you may be financially okay, or you may be able to provide for the people that you love, that does not mean that's your destiny. And I feel like this is why so many people go through life feeling like incomplete. So I'm here to tell you today that you don't have to settle for anything that doesn't 100% make you feel complete. You don't have to settle for an average lifestyle. You don't have to settle for working a regular 9 to 5. If you have more in store for you, if you're more ambitious than the average person may be, then this is what you need to be chasing. But the cause of so many people's misery is looking at everyone else's lives around them and gathering this idea of what regular is. And then they allow themselves to get trapped in this same mindset of thinking like, okay, this is what regular is. So I'm going to do A, B, and C to maintain this regular image so that I'm not an outcast, so that I'm not looked at as the oddball. But if you're somebody who simply wants to do more, then simply go do more. Don't compare yourself to the next person in the lifestyle that they're living because they simply have not walked in the same shoes you have. But the majority of people who spend their time blending in, I guarantee, are not happy. For example, there was a point in my life where I was so stuck on being comfortable. And in order to be comfortable, you're not going to put yourself in a position to be an outcast. You're not going to put yourself in a position to be looked at as different because that draws attention. So I would really do everything that would minimize the attention drawn to myself. And eventually, over time, I realized that not only was I wasting my potential, but I was not going to get anywhere by being exactly like the next person. I was not going to get far mimicking the people around me or really just being stuck in this regular mindset. But the opportunities have always been there. There are 365 days in a year. And to me, what this means, there are 365 different things that you could have tried that can change the course of your entire life. The more time that we spend thinking, which in a sense can really make you waste a lot of time in the long run, because the more that you think, the more you put yourself in this position to be over analytical. You may think too far ahead, or you just may mentally psych yourself out of actually starting something when you start to think about the worst possible scenarios. But when you have that initial idea, the last thing that you want to do is allow yourself to be too analytical or just to think too much on the what if and what may not possibly happen, because all you really do have is this very moment. And if you do have that thought, that's something that you need to take and run with it, because at any moment that can change. So in the simplest terms, you do not have to just live an average life. Whatever you dream of, whatever things that you really believe that you can go out here and get in the world, I guarantee you can actually go get, because there are people just like you. This is why I feel like it's very important that you surround yourself by like-minded individuals, because these people, they have a similar vision as you, and it'll be much easier to put yourself around these type of people who are also ambitious, where y'all can help all push each other to get to that next level, rather than hanging out with closed-minded people that are really just gonna, kill your dreams in a sense. This is exactly why they say one bad fruit spoils the whole bunch, because negativity, that energy can rub off on you. I don't care what nobody says. If you're surrounded by 10 similar individuals and you're the 11th, I guarantee at some point during that journey, you're going to end up exactly like them, whether you like it or not. And we do this because over time we start to develop patterns and we start to speak like them. And next thing you know, we're moving and doing the things that they're doing, and we're all the same. But you don't have to accept this form of settling. You don't have to accept this type of lifestyle, because I promise you, one of the things that really opened my mind up to life and the opportunities in life is just really looking at each day as a new opportunity. Understanding that the failures of yesterday does not have to be the same failures of today. You only fail if you allow your mind to be corrupted by that thought of past failure. But if you're able to move past that, if you're able to overlook any form of loss that you may experience to this point and just keep hope in the back of your head, then you will always come out on top. But I feel like one of the most important traits that a human can have is hope. As long as you have hope, it does not matter what goes on in your life, because you know that at some point things will get better. When I was at the lowest of the lowest in my life, no matter what I was going through, I understood that Just because I may be struggling today does not mean that I'm going to be struggling tomorrow. And you need to have the same mindset when it comes to life, understanding that you do not have to let your past traumas and hardships psych you out of overcoming them in the future. But once you gain hope, to me, you gain it all, because everything else will be naturally flowing at that point. Once you allow yourself to manifest the lifestyle that you want, in a sense, because I feel like manifestation and hope kind of go hand in hand, just with the thought of not necessarily having something at this very moment, but understanding in due time it will come into your life. That's faith, that's having hope, that's a form of manifestation. But only you set the bar for your life. Just because certain people's bar may be down here and you have high dreams and high goals for yourself does not mean that you have to settle. You wake up, you have a decision to make, and that's if you want to be average or if you want to go out and conquer the world or do whatever it takes in order to change the course of your life. If you were not raised in a family that's very wealthy, where you don't have, wealth that was passed down through generations, then you just have work to do. And even if you are in a position like that, you have to maintain and build it. So you have to keep going. But along this, you really just have to have faith, understanding that as long as you're putting in the work, at some point something will pay off. That's the main reason I do not stray away from hard work, because I understand that right now it may not make sense. Right now I may not be getting rewarded for the work that I'm putting in, but at some point, whether it's a year, whether it's 10 years down the road, I will be rewarded for the work that I'm putting in. And you got to keep this in the back of your mind, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you going. You looking at the end goal rather than at this very present moment is the only thing that's going to make it worthwhile, whether you're working hard for your family, whether you're working hard for the people that you love, or simply yourself. You thinking about where you should be and where you could be, as long as you persist, it's what's going to make it way more worthwhile. People will get a job and they'll be content, they'll make a little bit of money, they may be financially stable, and they accept this. They get comfortable and they allow this to be their regular everyday lives, which there is nothing wrong with. But if you know that you're capable of more, do not kill your dreams because you're stable. That's the whole thing about life. Sometimes you have to take a risk. Sometimes you have to lose it all in order to gain everything. But you have to be willing to sacrifice your old life for your new one. You have to be willing to let that 6 figures go in order to make 2-3 times that, whatever you feel like you're capable of making. But you cannot be afraid to put yourself in a position to change your life. And the way that I look at it is that, of course, we know that everything is not always going to go your way. But that thought alone of you trying, that thought alone of you really going out there and having the courage to change your life is way more worthwhile than you keeping yourself comfortable in that position and not doing anything at all. I would much rather lose 100 times before I allow myself to stay in my comfort zone and be mediocre. You have to be willing to deal with that form of loss, because I promise you, if you are, at some point, some type of breakthrough, some type of new opportunity is going to pay off. You can't be afraid to lose. You can't be afraid to fail. But each day that you wake up is a new opportunity to change your life. And even if it's not all about you, like me, I think about my family. I gotta wake up because I have family that needs me. I got sisters and nephews that all are still growing. And if I give up on myself, I'm basically giving up on them. So I use them as that driving force and as motivation for me to keep going as well. And you could do the exact same thing, but you just have to see it through. You have to look at the hard times with hope and faith, understanding that they will pass. You got to look at the opportunities, like, just because they're here doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to succeed. I'm going to do everything in my power to get the best result possible. But if I fail, I will not let this destroy me. I will not let this set me back in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to keep going until I get success. I'm going to keep going until I get to where I want to get. And then when it's your time, God will open that door for you, I promise. But you will never know if you stop. You will never know if you do not try. Get yourself out of your comfort zone. If you're working a regular job right now, that's something that you want to do, great. But if it's not, but you're comfortable and you have kids and you got a family set up and you kind of scared to take that risk, stack up some money. Stack your bread to where you have enough to pay y'all rent and to take care of y'all bills for a year. And then go out and really try whatever it is that's been on your mind, because that's the only way that you're going to feel fulfilled as an individual. And not only that, if it does work out, then everybody benefits from it. Why not be the one to take that risk? And really just picture yourself right now, before we wrap this up, just picture yourself where you would be 10, 15 years from now if you were doing everything that you set your mind out to do. Any goal, any idea that you may have had, anything that's been on your mind recently, if you really just went out and did those things, picture where you could possibly be. Not only are you going to be more wise, you've experienced more losses, so you're much more resilient to the idea of losses. And I'm pretty sure at that point you're going to be successful because you're not settling, you're taking those risks and you're doing what's possible in order to change your life. So that just has to be something that you're willing to do. And I feel like if more humans were like this, everybody would live more happy lives. You wouldn't see people running around here with bad energy all the time, or just really just doing things that they know that they deep down inside don't want to do. But for everybody watching this video and everybody on this channel, I really do want y'all to be great. I want y'all to wake up with that mindset, understanding that you can go out and be everything that you want to be. You can go out and do everything that you want to do. But the moment that you listen to those outside voices, those people who do not have a direct impact on your life, will be the one thing that steers you off course. Listening to people who really don't benefit you at all, but they're just there. I like to think of them as background noise. But allow background noise to be background noise. Allow those voices to be exactly who they are, and you keep it pushing, you keep going, you keep building for your life. And at some point, something will pay off. But there are 365 days, and there are 365 ways that you could change the course of your life as long as you set your mind to it. But it's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.